This call is now being recorded.
Hi, everyone. So, this episode is very, very special to us because we have Celestina on this call with us today.
Mm-hmm.
Celestina, for those that don't know, she has been with us for how many years now, Celestina? Is it?
Over 3 years. It is 2022. Yeah.
Yes. So, she has seen the highs, the lows, and she
Mm-hmm.
has seen everything in between. So, she's a perfect woman for this job today. And her job is simple, right? She's going to be quizzing Joha and I with some questions that she had gathered from the team. And if I didn't say it already, Sestina is an exceptional HR consultant and she is our lead consultant. So trust me, it's going to be on a semi hot seat. But yeah, I'll see. We've not seen the questions ahead of time. So we don't know what Celestina has up her sleeve. Hopefully, we can answer the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for joining this episode. My name is Kelechi Abiri, and I'm with the usual suspects. So,
Hey
guys,
guys.
the floor is
Hello. Welcome. Celestina, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Kelechi. Thank you, Joha, for this opportunity to be on this podcast with you.
Madam Kideshi, you are calling me now to look like I'm one
Is
wicked
Madam
boss.
Kelechi. Okay, so for our questions, I know you've not seen them, so but it's nothing personal, general that will also help our audience, anyone that will come across this podcast in general, both to employers and employees. So I'll
Okay.
start with the first question. Are you ready? Drum rolls. Okay. All right. The first question will be, what are some upcoming HR trends we should prepare for in 2026?
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Set off.
Joe, how do you want to
Madam,
take
the
that?
floor is yours.
Um, well, everybody will say this, AI, technology, all of that. But I think that yeah, we should definitely prepare for jobs to not necessarily be replaced by technology, or more with like people who can manage the technology. So, for instance, people who know how to use AI and use technology will be replacing those who have been used to doing things very manually. All right.
Okay.
Everybody knows this. We've been saying this for the past 2 years. So it's definitely something to it's already happening. Right. So it's going to keep happening, and it's going to, it's not going to stop anytime soon. Um, of course, when we're talking about technology, we're talking about roles in cybersecurity, machine learning, AI prompting. So those are roles that by next year they're already happening, but there's going to be more because they're also every year there are new startups. Startups are closing, startups are opening. Everybody is an entrepreneur now. So another thing we should expect is for the workforce to have, people who already have products that they're building or things that they're working on while they're, I mean, have an open mind. The fact that your employee would not only be working for you, they probably have their own projects and things that they're working towards. So another thing is in Nigeria, payroll. Everybody knows that the new taxation laws is something to also look out for
Okay.
next year. Um, and usually people like to push it. There's always a context between HR and accounting for who is responsible for that. It will
Mm.
be a great time for HR to collaborate with finance departments or accounting departments to ensure that compliance is really happening. And I think generally in HR, we need to be more involved in in conversations around compliance, data protection, cybersecurity, taxation, because while we're evolving and we're all praying for Nigeria to evolve, it means that I foresee that there will be policies and things around compliance coming up, right? And it's important
Okay.
for us to prepare for that. So just I would say technology, prepare for technology, growth and advancements in technology and the compliance issues that come with such growth. Um yeah, that's for me.
Okay, Madam Kelechi, do you want to add anything to that? I have a follow-up question for that
Yes,
answer.
that's your
And
follow-up question because Joy really gave like an extensive answer, and I feel like, especially on the compliance side, I feel like now we're seeing the effects of technology, new technology. So there will be another set of wave of compliance on those technology, especially when it comes to data protection and when it comes to ethical use of artificial
Oh yeah,
intelligence.
exactly.
okay, okay, yeah, artificial intelligence. That's what I was going to ask. You have mentioned compliance, payroll, taxes, and all of that, and you agree that getting a solid company or consultant to handle all of that, to take it off the business hands, so that they can focus on the core aspects of the business, it can be somehow expensive. So how can small companies with limited budgets compete with those big companies that can afford that? And it also in getting the talents either in-house or making use of consultants.
So the simple way is good old research. Now is when you have to have that skill, and that means that you have to talk to other business owners. So research is not just on your desktop, you are researching. You have to mingle with other business owners, you have to mingle with other stakeholders in your industry, gather insights, see what the people are really saying, and try to also create a system whereby you also listen to industry news. So that means you might set up a Google alert for your industry. That means anytime certain keywords in your industry are put out as news, you get those alerts into your emails, and then you know that you're able to follow up like that. Then subscribe to newsletters that are relevant in your industry, and also follow relevant pages. It's not social media is not just for following skits.
Mhm.
Follow the relevant news channels and the relevant sector channels that are on social media. And also, as much as possible, encourage your team to research, encourage your team to be a learning organization. That it means that everyone on your team should be involved in putting out or creating one sort of knowledge area that can be transferred to the team. I don't know if you remember, Celestina, when we used to have training done by our consultants in-house. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
So that was us not having a budget. And that means that we were now using our own people to research on key topics, and they will come in and teach the rest of the team.
Mhm.
And that way we were creating a knowledge pathway for the team. So that's my short answer for that.
Okay, I'd
Um,
like to add,
okay.
we right now we're in a stage where there's so many people providing this training, so many training institutes, and very few places for people to intern. So if you are a small business or an SME, ask within your team. Some people may be preparing to leave your team or leave your company or jackpot or something, which is why they are gathering the skill. But ask and be open to them interning with your organization. So that might be a low hanging fruit or a cheap way, and can also help in retention. And because from there, a new role can be created, right? So ask within your team if anyone is maybe learning something that your your business needs now and you want to intern, right? Sometimes you can also do, if they're not already learning it and it's a career goal for them, and you support it, they might want to share the knowledge. They can support, so the condition of, okay, share the knowledge, to the rest of the team or intern within the company. There's a way to always work around it. And just to add to what Kelechi already said, leverage your industry colleagues, because even
Mhm.
in security is a form of sharing of data that happens, in this space where where you get like as an open source for you to see what kind of vulnerabilities and threats are out there. So, even in terms of, oh, what's new technology, or what should we avoid, or what are the things that are now affecting our industry, I think industry guys in similar industries should come together and build a community where they share information just to support each other, because all of us are not, we can't all be big organizations that can hire someone, and you never know what you find out from that community. Also, in that community, you guys can decide to pay one consultant or have a deal with one consultant, who would provide, because it's providing to so many people now. It can be at a discounted rate.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Johar, for that. Okay, so my next question is still around the change and AI. Okay, so we all know that AI is taking the change to another level. So, and what leadership skill do you think doesn't get enough credit?
I would say research. It's a leadership
Research.
skill. Yeah. It doesn't
Okay.
get enough credit, like the ability to. So now research has now been democratized. So now anybody can use AI. But do you know the right prompt? That's
Mhm.
another critical thinking that needs to be cherished. The ability to look into a data center and a data pool, and then pull out the right information. So even if you prompt and they give you all the things that you need, sometimes ChatGPT can be wrong. Can you pull out the things that you need that make sense to your own query, or to your own industry, or to your own subject matter? Able to pull it out. If you're not able to pull it out, that's skill. So that critical thinking and research skill is so important and needs to be given credit to. The ability for you to even read. I think that's another thing. Read through information. Like some people, I've seen CVs that people have left like the ChatGPT prompts inside it. And I
Research number.
is that number, those kind of things. So that reading, now that reading culture is being eroded. So you're just now on a, should I say, microwave kind of level where you everything sharp sharp. You've given prompt has come out. Your mind now you're on a speed and nobody else has seen. And then you now go and give another form of garbage because you did not take that time to. So the ability to think critically, the ability to read through information and understand it and take out what is necessary from that information, which is a research skill, is so important. So now that you're prompting, what next? How how are you going to use what you actually got out of ChatGPT? Because if something about computer is that, or technology, that it still needs human, still needs a human element, and that is the ability to think critically and apply that knowledge into the case or the subject matter in question.
All
Let me also
right. Thank
add,
you. Okay. You want
the
to
ability
add
to
something?
serve. Service is a leadership skill.
Service is a leadership skill.
Yeah,
I'm learning. New.
leaders serve. First of all, as
Okay.
a
Okay.
as a leader, you have to
Mm-hmm.
serve. You have to be a follower. You have to serve. And I
Mm-hmm.
say that service is overlooked and, sorry, is it overlooked or underrated? Is overlooked, is underrated, and is almost going out of style. because everyone wants to lead, but the reason behind their wanting to lead is not service. It's not because they want to serve. A real leader does, but we have left the doing part. A real leader does not relax. A real leader does. When it means that when the rest of your team they are sleeping, you're still working. When there's trouble, you're not just saying, oh, just you're thinking or you're worrying about what how do we come out of this. So it's something we need to bring back. It's something that AI cannot replace, because service is at the core of who everybody can. Not everybody. So that you're an excelling employee does not necessarily mean that you can be a leader.
Leader.
There's a selflessness that comes with being a leader that you have to have. So I believe that that is overlooked, underrated, and is going out of style. We should bring back service to leadership.
Mm. All right, thank you for that. Okay, let's go to HR systems. What
Mhm.
are the biggest mistakes you feel companies make when implementing new HR systems?
Going with the buzz
My
and
own
not
is my
necessarily
own is
matching the need with the system.
yes, exactly. The trend is too much. The trend can be a noise on its own. That
Okay.
trend is like so noisy. Like if you are implementing a system, it should not be about the one that is trending. Because you see billboards, and some people take time when they see those billboards, they take time, they go and onboard their staff on that system, but they now get
Mm.
hooked. They now
Mhm.
get really hooked in that system and they are unable to finish that onboarding. So you have people that are stuck on a system that they have not been able to, because it doesn't address your needs, it doesn't address your wants, it doesn't address your area of concern. You never did any good research on it, just put
Mm.
your, yeah, like just said, the buzz, the trends, it's a noise on its own. And if you're onboarding people into a system, HR system, and you don't know what you need out of that system, you'll be stuck.
So yes, I think before you purchase any HR system, um, one, talk to your team to really identify what is needed. Also, consider the skills of people on your team. If you're dealing with people who are not, who don't really have like technology skills or use of technology, then you might want to reconsider what kind of systems you can use. So talk to the team in-house first to identify what the need is. Look at your staff, the skill sets within your team, and then now see if your need aligns with what is being provided for,
Okay.
or what options you have available, and which is sort of what's made us to, like say, morph into building ERP solutions for businesses, because sometimes they come to us and say, oh, we want to use your software, but by the time you dig deeper and ask more questions, you realize that what they actually need is not your software on its own, but maybe more or maybe less. And I think that a lot of marketers and people who sell software systems to don't consult enough. They just want to make that sale. So you find that they push you, encourage you, whine you, trick you, whatever, and the sale is made, and your team is not using up to 80% of the features on the software because there's a misalignment, right? So it's okay for you as a business, especially as an SME, or you don't have money to waste. So ask questions, do a demo session, and tell whoever is selling this HR system to you what your needs are. And if you're yet to identify your needs, work with a company that is open to helping you identify those needs and consulting with you. Come to our talk. That's what I'm just trying to say in essence.
Okay. All right. So I want us to tweet towards career development a bit. We have a question or two about career development. And the first one is, for long-term career success, is it wiser to climb steadily within one company or explore different industries every few years to expand your skill set?
It's a tricky question. It's a tricky
Mhm.
question because we have so many motivators for people. We have motivators in terms of skill. Some people's motivation is money. Let's not lie. That's
Mm,
just some people's. If your motivation is money, and it's okay for your motivation to be money. I'm not one of those people that will shame people for having motivation as money, because money is a relevant motivator.
motivator.
Yeah, and even skills too is also a relevant motivator. So sometimes you want to also tailor your skill to an industry that is the industry that is trending. Some people's have have have, have tailored their skills to technology because it's a trending sector, right? But me, I always think of things like this. If a sector is trending in the next 10 years, right? Can you actually forecast what will trend 10 years after? Sometimes impossible to forecast,
Mhm.
right? But what may I feel will trend is non-AI roles, should I say roles that AI cannot replace. And there are so many roles that AI cannot replace. AI is not going to replace nurses anytime soon. AI is not going to replace HR people, even if people would still need HR because of that employee welfare,
A human touch.
that
Human
human touch.
interaction.
People would still take it or leave it. I believe that HR is not a job role that will be replaced really quick. Not because I'm in HR, but I'm saying that because
Yeah. Some
people will still
functions
need
might
teams.
be improved
People
or
will still
replaced
need
with
teams.
technology, but not
Yeah,
replaced.
but not totally. Yeah.
Not
So
all.
yeah, of course HR will be improved. So it depends depending on your motivator. You can either climb. So to climb, the thing about climbing is that you're not likely to be paid what um what you want.
Mm,
What you want. If money is your only motivator, right? When you're climbing, you need to be careful. That let me just say that you need to be careful when you're climbing from 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 place to place. Say from place to place, or what was your other question? From industry to industry or from place to place, right?
yes, from different industries.
So I don't think changing industry is necessary,
Okay.
because you want to show that transferable skill in your resume. So changing
Mm,
industry rapidly, I think it's still 5 to 10 years in one industry before you decide to transition. And if you can't, right, make sure you tailor your resume to show the transferable skills you got from the other industry that you're moving from
for the
to
next one.
industry. Now,
Mm,
sometimes I have a relative that she has only worked in two companies, and she has mm, like close to 20 years of experience. She has only worked one company 8 years, one other company 10 years. And what that did for her is she's considered a loyal person. Like what that tells on her resume, the story that tells on her
Mhm.
resume is that she's loyal. It shows that she's reliable. It shows that she's
Mhm.
dependable, right? It shows that she has a vision for herself and she's not all over the place.
mm,
And that climbing, yes, has paid her very well because she's able to collect like good severance packages when
okay.
she's leaving. So she's gaining money and she's gaining deepened industry knowledge by spending time in those places. Now, when you are changing jobs, there's a probability that you'll be paid well in different jobs, but I think you should do a maximum of 2 to 3 years in a place just so that you can establish some sort of skill. Not because I'm an employer, but I'm just saying that it deepens your knowledge. I only worked for three
And there's a
places.
credibility that comes with it as well.
Exactly. I worked with 3 places in my 8 years before I started my company. So I did at least 2 to 3 years in each of those places. And what that did for me is that I understood processes properly. I
Mm,
saw processes change properly. I understood what it is to transition and understand a process. See if a process is working before you try another process. So it gave me good knowledge when I was starting my own business. And I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm trying to say people should stay long in one place, but I'm just saying that if you want to deepen your knowledge, that's the only way to do it. And money should not only be money is a good motivation, but it should not only determine. I mean, there are entrepreneurs now. People have entrepreneurs. People start off a product in a company and they own the product and they're
mm,
able to build a part out of it. I think that's more exciting than even starting a business of your own in that case, because you already have like investor already, you already have
Mhm.
like
You have a brand, an existing
creative,
brand name to
exactly,
build off of.
creative
Yeah.
license and all of those things. I think, yeah, I think it all depends on your motivation. But if I were to advise, I would say deepen your roots, then expand.
okay. Okay. Deepen your roots, then expand. Okay, you mentioned something around money not being a very big motivator, and also beyond money, work can truly motivate employees to perform at their best.
I would say the skill and the skill and the experience that you're getting out of the business they are working with. You also don't want a business like, I think there was a time you, Sesna, came to us and said you wanted to change and do something different with your with your work. So I
Yeah, I
think that
remember.
I think having someone that listens, I think having like a management team or a boss or whatever you call a leader that listens to what you want to do with yourself, I think is
Mm,
also a motivation, because
okay.
you don't want to work and be unhappy as an employee just because they're paying you so much money. You don't want to be unhappy. I was reading Femi Otelola's book and he was laying a lot of emphasis on happiness. He quit different businesses just because he wasn't fulfilled in that business as at that time. So you can do like 4, 5 years, 7 years in a business, but he lost like he lost interest in the business, and then one day he woke up and quit the business, right? So there's a lot of emphasis on happiness these days. Nobody, life is short. Nobody wants to stay
Peace
in a
of
business.
mind.
Yeah, peace of mind, exactly. Nobody wants to stay in a business that they don't have peace of mind. A toxic place. I've had people say that, oh, they can't work with a toxic person, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, it is very important that once when we point a finger about toxicity, we have to make sure that, oh, you too, we are doing what is expected of you. But in just that's just an aside. But in the same way, like money cannot be your motivation if you also want money can, like they will tell you that money cannot buy happiness, but that's crying. What's
Me
it?
Lamborghini. Then crying the cake.
Ah, but that's just like, I think that's poverty mentality. I think
Mm.
that's poverty mentality, and it's a Nigerian poverty mentality thing. Also, not even Nigeria. A lot of people have poverty mentality. A lot of people have poverty mentality, and they don't even know that they have poverty mentality.
Mhm.
Right? How do you price yourself? Like that's the question.
Mm.
Like, what's your how much are you? Where to price you in the market? How much are you? Like Lamborghini is what your mental health. I don't
Mm.
know if that's what your mental health. If that's what you say, yeah, you're at the same price with a Lamborghini. Then that's
Lamborghini. Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to judge anybody.
Okay, I was going to say that fulfill, like the sense of fulfillment, which is part of what you said, is another thing that can motivate an employee to stay back. Just the feeling of I am impacting a business, or depends on the kind of business, impacting lives, or that there's my work is actually valuable and I'm getting recognized for it, and this is what I want to do as a person. That alone, I've seen people take pay cuts just to be able to work in a place that they get the sense of fulfillment from. So for some people, it's not always money. It's always sometimes it's peace of mind. You know, peace of mind can make you stay in
I
the
for one
company.
is peace of
Eh,
mind, please. Peace
thank you.
of mind.
That's a compliment.
Peace of mind. I love my
Yeah.
peace of mind.
So yeah, because I remember a friend got an opportunity. I was going to be paying him times two of his current job, but that place is known to be a toxic workplace. So in that kind of situation, just like Kilichi said, what's the price you put on your peace of mind? You know, so it's not just about money every time. It can't be about only money. If not, you're
Mm-mm.
going to destroy your life if that is it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there will always be something that's somewhere that's paying more or somewhere that's offering
Mm-hmm.
more. But at
Exactly.
what cost? If you're only looking at the money, then at what cost? So yeah, for just fulfillment, which is why it's very important to hear from your team, to know what their career goals and paths, what the career path is, to see if it's something that is aligned with what your company can offer them or not. And for
Mm.
me, when people leave the organization, when I've had such meetings and somebody is leaving the organization to say they're working somewhere else, for some resignation, like it's not a slight of, I'm happy for you, because when I spoke with you, what your career trajectory was, there wasn't going to be any room for it in the organization. But now you found a place that can actually, give you fulfillment. So I'm happy for you, you know.
Mm.
And that when you understand it like that, even as an employer, you would not feel slighted when somebody leaves your organization. Of course, so provided that they're giving notice, so I'm not
It's
saying
very important, please.
I'm not saying because I support your career goals, you will now just wake up one day and not come to work and say, you got that job. Yeah, I don't say me, I'll swear for you, but I'll be happy for you. I won't we don't do that over here.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So since you're talking about toxic workplace culture, and also what are the signs of a toxic workplace culture, and what is HR's first step in fixing it?
Mhm. I
There are
think
many
silence.
signs. I think
Silence
many
is one of these signs.
communication, breaking communication,
Yeah.
when there's
Okay.
constant communication gaps, expectations versus reality. So every time that means that's the same issue. Like means that somebody is not talking to one person is not talking to the other properly. One person
Mm.
is not understanding what is being said. I think that can now be an indication of. Then there's a gossip, still under communication, gossip, culture of gossip. Uh, that can also be an indicator. Some I've heard an employer say they don't like their people to cooperate.
Wow,
They want them to, so they don't connive. They want them to be at the guy.
that's one conflict.
Yeah, she
They
wants
don't
conflict.
want peace. They want war.
So
Honestly,
she
it works for
instigates
some
some,
people.
yeah, she instigates some disagreement on purpose, just so that they are not cooperating. I think that's a witchcraft on its own. That's a type of witchcraft because, like,
There's
why
some kind
do
of
you?
competition in the organization that can actually help the organization grow,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at
Healthy
what cost?
competition.
On no, unhealthy ones too.
Okay.
Help the organization grow. But at what cost? What makes it unhealthy is the cost. At the cost of other people's mental health within the
Yeah,
organization.
the
As an
organization.
employer, you
That's
can't only be looking at, how's my company moving forward. People that are working for you, uncle, are they okay?
How are they moving forward?
You know, are they fine mentally? And because it's toxic people that make workplaces toxic. It's not as if it's the building, or sometimes it's not even only the boss, right? Of course, it trickles down. A lot of times, you check a toxic work environment,
Mm.
the employer in 80% of the time, 80%, the employer is the problem. And if it's bigger organizations that have it, you find out that maybe the employer is not so in touch with the branches that have that toxicity, but it is the leaders or team leads, So somehow toxicity trickles down from up,
Yeah.
right?
And I think we have a personal story in house about that kind of. We're heading to toxicity. I would say last year, maybe 2023 and last year.
2023, actually.
Yeah, we're heading towards that. Or maybe we're even in the peak of toxicity. And I think what happened was a culture of gossip started to fester. So I'm not going to pretend on this call like I would not. Some people might even describe me as toxic. Like, so I know that I've been like somebody had left an anonymous comment on one of my posts one time. I said I'm a toxic person, and I suspected I was like an ex-employee.
Exemplary.
Yeah. So I think for us, let me use us as a case study of that 2023. I think what caused that toxicity was a culture of gossip and a break in communication. So you have expectations on one end, right? Maybe from the team leads or the management, and then another set of expectations were happening from the um, employees as well. And that expectation and breaking communication was causing a culture of gossip. So people were not addressing issues. They were addressing issues. They're not addressing issues with the right people. They were addressing issues in a coven like, I'm not call it coven like, what they call it. They were addressing
In their inner carcass, in their
Yeah.
inner carcasses.
when you start to gossip over time, there's resentment, right?
Mhm.
Resentment that grows in the hearts of the gossipers and the listeners. And then everyone starts to pick up on that bad energy, right? This person is waiting for you to mess up so that they can have more stuff to take to their coven meeting and talk about so we're not addressing issues properly. We're not addressing issues with the people involved. We're addressing issues. And I'm so happy. I don't know, like, how those people that were involved cleared themselves out.
Let me also add, we
But
sort of had toxic clients too,
oh
who
yeah,
influenced our reaction as leaders to the rest of the team. So sort of,
mm,
yeah,
that
you
toxic
know,
client. So we had to fire some
the
clients as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So
So yeah.
clients that talk anyhow, then they talk to the people, our own team members working with them or dedicated to them anyhow. They now talk to us
Mhm.
anyhow. We don't like being spoken to
Transfer
anyhow.
aggression.
So it just
Mm.
going
Yeah.
round, yeah. So, and I think that's
Yeah,
a
but
sign for
yeah,
businesses to have boundaries.
yeah.
That also led to us putting in our SLAs to these clients that we would
Mm,
not tolerate, when our staff members are spoken to rudely, and to show that we have terminated engagements with some clients based off of that. So it is on you as a business, the way it is on you as a person to have your boundaries, it is on you as a business to
yes,
also have your boundaries.
Boundaries.
um because if you let them speak to your team anyhow and they get away with it, you are giving the impression that it's okay to do that, and then your team members feel like, okay, what's the point? Why should I even put, you're still going to take the client side anyways, and
Mm,
the efforts that they put, everything, they become disengaged over time too, and
yeah.
yeah, so
And
that everything
another
becomes
thing
messy from
also,
them.
yeah, thank you, Joy. I think another thing also is also growth. If growth is not handled well, it can become a toxic thing. So you have expansion of the team. but your core team, right? You're not taking time to develop them, or you're not taking time to prepare their
Mm,
mind for the new transition, and then you add more people into the team, then you grow. But that growth now comes at a cost.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not careful, your culture is
Mm-hmm.
nosediving,
there was
Diluted. Yeah.
even,
growing. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's not
mm,
even your core team that you've not trained. You may have trained your core team because there's not yet the core team that stayed through that toxic period, if you think about it. But because the
mm,
growth is happening rapidly, you may not have the time to groom or train or even identify what the issue is when you start seeing it, because you have too many people now, you have more people, right? And people are coming as growth, there's a cost for growth, people are coming in and out of your organization, planting their different seeds, you know. The toxic one, when they're supposed to be doing handover to the new employee, they're also passing all their resentment and whatever to the next person too.
mm,
And because of how fast it's growing, you're not there to catch it. They're they're not learning from you directly. When you're a
mm.
smaller team, they can learn from you directly. But when you start to grow, you are leaving it to team leads or department heads and all of that. And you may not necessarily have the time to retrain or groom. So it's expected somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree that that can be a factor. Yes.
Okay, so the first step in fixing all these things will still can still relate it back to communication.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so from manager line, okay, let's say line managers to their subordinates, management to the entire team, how can they give constructive feedback without demotivating their subordinates or the entire team?
Constructive feedback. Constructive feedback can be given in a proper feedback. Should I say a feedback? It starts from the KPI communication, the channel of that
As
feedback.
expectation.
Yeah, if your expectation is not clear, what are you really giving feedback about? Like, are you for real? They are giving feedback on expectations that are not even clear. So you tend to go off point when you're giving such a feedback, because you never started with a point. You never started with metrics, you never started with key performance indicators. You just want to talk on vibes. So it starts with a proper channel, like a cycle of feedback. But if you want to be a team that gives feedback
Mm,
immediately or continuously, right? That means that your communication skill, people understand their job descriptions, they
mhm.
understand, there has to be a base level of understanding. Before I tell you that, oh, you didn't do something properly, there has to be a base understanding of it, what the person is supposed to do in the first place. So
Mhm.
where there is no law, there is no sin. If you are running a lawless place, that's when feedback starts to get all over the place and people are now talking off points and attacking people's personality as opposed to the job.
To
I
the
always
job.
yeah, I always try to stick to I always make sure that it's nothing personal when I'm giving a feedback. That it's not personal, it's more of what you did not do or what you could have done better. So I think to not demotivate people in the start of it, you must make sure they understand what is expected before you talk about giving feedback.
Doing feedback.
What do they understand?
Mm.
Also, don't
Okay.
use ambiguous words. Just try
Okay,
to
ambiguous
don't say
words.
don't say things like what you did is wrong. Wrong how? You know,
Mm,
what is wrong? What you did is not what I said you should do. Try to walk back and hit the nail on the head,
okay.
what is wrong
Okay.
about it.
Mm. Okay, so how can, let me put it this way, how can management handle an employee who isn't performing well, especially when the issue might be more about motivation than skill? It's not like this person doesn't know how to do this thing or doesn't have the required skill to do it, but it's more about motivation.
Hmm. What is motivation? like you say, if your job description is, for example, a front desk, right? And your job description is to, if number one, greet customers when they come in. Number two, um, let's tell customers to write down their name and who they are going to visit. Let's just say,
Mhm.
let's use just this as a scenario, right? If this is your scenario and you're saying you are not able to do that job because you are not motivated, so the skill required for that scenario, for example, is your ability to communicate to the client and your ability to be warm and friendly, right? But if you say you're not warm and friendly because you're not motivated, that means you're talking maybe they're owing you salary, or somebody slap you that money on your team, or
Huh?
somebody, I don't know, somebody poured water on your phone and destroyed your phone or something. Because what I feel in that scenario, for example, when you say you have the skill but you are not motivated, the career is your own, right? It's not, the company does not own the career, does not own the, like I always tell people, your career is like a business to you, right? If you say
Yeah.
you want to be motivated to do your job, now the motivation, is it in a salary way? Maybe the money is too small. And did you communicate that as an issue? And why did you take on a job that you'll be dissatisfied with the salary long term? Like
Mm.
try to speak up, especially when it comes to money issues. Try to speak up on time, right? When you are not when you think, what if the motivation is that the you are demotivated because they talk to you somehow, right? They don't take, your mental health is at stake. Then you leave that place. Like, to be honest, we're all adults. Let me use this cliche. We are all adults. If something is no longer serving you, right?
Yeah. It's time
You,
to let it go.
yeah, it's time to let it go. Because motivation, right? If the other party does not know what is the motivation for you, then one person is blindsided. Now you not doing
Mm.
your work, you'll be blamed for not doing your work, right? You'll be blamed for not doing your work. Nobody what was it called? Nobody will respect you for not doing your work. You'll be talked down on. So it's like you are digging your own rabbit hole because you're not doing your work. There are other effects that will continue to come up. But if you say you are not motivated, you have the skill, but you're not motivated, then the right thing to do is to leave that scenario, leave that place. If it doesn't serve you anymore, you have to leave and find something that motivates you, right? This life is too short for you to stay in a place that
Mhm.
is not
Yeah, I agree.
motivational to you. I mean, it's too short. So instead of being blamed, like called an underperformer or called someone that is
Incompetence.
competent, yeah, just it's better you bow out.
Okay,
Mm.
can I just speak from the HR point of view? Because it looks like this case has addressed it from the person who is demotivated. Um, I think for the HR, from the HR's point of view, try to have the conversation. You also have to be someone who people are comfortable communicating with on things like this. Like you said, it might not be a skill. You say, how do you motivate somebody who is demotivated but it's not a skill option? Or what do you do to an employee who is just demotivated? If
Mm.
you as it means that you as HR know that it's not a skill problem because maybe the employee has been performing the same role and doing it well, but now they're not doing as much.
Something has shifted.
Yeah. So if you need to be able to have the conversation, ask for a meeting and communicate. Since you are the one that identifies, sometimes employees don't are not confident enough to approach HR to say, "Oh, this was happening in my life." But you as HR, that you know that it's not a skill problem, I think it's on you to try to have that conversation,
Do they
right?
trust each child, Joha?
That's why I
Let's
said,
even
as HR, you have to be someone they can trust. That's what I started with. Because even if you go
because
and meet
all
them
these
and they
our
don't trust
memes,
you, and they
all
don't
these our
trust
memes
you,
on social media is doing more harm than good.
HR is
People are
your friend.
And people are
You know,
shady with
there
her
are
everywhere.
HR managers that are good. If people trust you, it's on you to make them trust you, right? Um, and try to have that conversation. Also, if you have identified that it's not a skill thing, sometimes if you look deep, people get demotivated from boredom or redundant repetition rather that happens in their role. So if you know if it's not a personal thing that you can see off the surface, or it's not like they're
Mhm.
distracted per se, they're not just enjoying the job anymore. You can try to do something that will spark joy in that role. Maybe add another responsibility, maybe put technology. It's on you to see. You need to, of course, the person has to be willing to share what
To
the
share.
problem is,
Mhm.
but you too can try other things to make to also show your own effort as HR. To, because if it's not a skill, you can if it's not a skill problem, then I believe most times it can be fixed and quickly, quicker than a
Mhm.
problem like a skill problem. Also, there's a cost for hiring or rehiring. So you want to see if it's something that you can fix and bring that employee back, to being motivated
If
before
Mhm.
you give.
motivation is money and they can't, the company cannot meet the money motivation, what happens? But sometimes it might the motivation can be that, oh, I need more money, I have more bills.
Life is happening. Yeah, so sometimes money may not necessarily be I want a salary increase right now. Can be I need a soft loan to deal with
Mm,
an immediate
fair enough.
problem, which is still on you, both of you, both parties to communicate.
It,
Right?
Mm,
yeah.
Every money in
Mhm.
this will
One is
not be
important, yeah.
it can be HMO that, oh, my child is always falling sick. Oh, I'm always spending whatever. Can we do family plan HMO? That might be
Mm,
solution. But if both
solution.
parties don't speak, we wouldn't know. So on the employee, speak. On HR, inquire. What's the word? Try to find out
Mm,
what
that's
the
fair
problem
enough, yeah.
is.
Okay, so it's safe to say that when hiring, like the interview process, it's safe to ask what motivates you.
Mm,
Mhm. That way, the HR can even know that, okay, this person that I want to hire is money that motivates it. So we should be ready to increase salary every
but
three
yeah, and
months
there
or
should not
6
be a
months.
shame. So me, I'm still going to address the employee. There should not be a shame around it. Like
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm,
you to say what is your motivation. People have put a shame around it, right? Because like I said,
mm,
if you don't do your career well, you would not be trusted and you will not grow on that job. Nobody will trust you if you keep dropping the ball. So you want to make sure that you're
mm,
able to like be an adult, man up or woman up, and speak exactly what you need so that everyone can know. I don't want people to think that it's okay for them to just keep quiet and make assumptions. Like learn, especially I love Gen Zs. They approach things boldly. The most
Not all
ridiculous
of
request.
them. Some of them are still clueless, but yeah.
It's not even. I don't think it's a case of
Or
clueless.
maybe not interested. I won't say clueless.
Exactly.
Clueless
They are not
was
clueless. They are
was
what they are
as some of
interested
them are
in. They
still
do it well.
uninterested. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. What they are interested in, they do it well. And I also think that they are a bold generation of people. When I just started my
outspoken.
career, yeah, when I just started my career, I may not have been that bold to ask for the things that I've heard Gen Z ask for. Gen Z would enter the interview listing. Before you say, do you have a question for me? They're already asking you questions like, is it a remote role? What do you, what do you, I remember interviewing someone, and the first thing she asked me was that, oh, how do you motivate people? I'm like, I think I'm done. Let's take it one step at a time.
Mhm.
So that one was very upfront. Like, how do you motivate people to be on your team and all of that? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think in the end, right, there's a level of boldness you need when it comes to your career, and you must own it. You must own it.
Mm. All right, thank you for that. So,
That
talking
all of the
about
question.
interview questions.
Oh, another. Hey.
Interview questions. I just have one question on that, and we have two more.
Okay.
This last three, I think I left them. I left them because
Now,
of Okay, so what is the one interview question you ask always that reveals the most about a candidate? Just one question you ask that tells you a lot
Me,
about.
my own question is always about what will make you excited on this role, what will make you happy on this role, right? I know some people, because it's an interview, they tell all manner of lies, but I like people saying the truth and being real. Like, don't tell me that. Don't give me ChatGPT answer. Like, I know. Let me know you through your answer, and I'm not even going. That's that question does not have any score intentionally because I want to leave an open mind. I don't want you to think that I don't want to judge a person based on their desires, basically. So I just want you to be real with yourself. And that
Mm.
also goes back to our motivation question. If you don't want to open your mouth, closed mouth don't get fed.
Mhm.
Jia, do you want to drop
For
one?
me, it's always tell me something that is not on your CV.
I like that.
Just tell me something that's not about you. So it can be about your skills, or just tell me something that's not like I can already see on your CV that you think could
Mm,
give you this job. And I hear very interesting things.
mm.
So
And those some candidates have been in interviews where some candidates they will just be clueless. They expect that your first question will be introduce yourself, and you come with the bombshell. Tell me
sometimes I
something
even
that is
start
not
with
your
another
and they are
another
lost.
good another good question is tell me about my company.
Mm.
I like
That's
that one.
if they've
I
researched.
want to know if you
Joe, I
research.
remember the
I've heard
answer
some
was
funny. Yeah.
your
Someone
company is
said
a
it must
boutique
be a
company.
boutique company that they sell clothes. Because then the company is a boutique, what was it called? Boutique human resource something.
Boutique
Oh,
Boutique,
they
staffing
don't.
company.
boutique staffing company, yeah. Boutique staffing company was what Riplesby was then online. So the
Mm.
person stopped at boutique and moved on, you know. So yeah, yeah. I like to
It's
know
good
that
to read.
I like to know that you researched before you came for the interview,
Interview.
because I now know what to ask you. Right.
Mm.
One of my
Yeah, I
interview
had very
styles is to
impressive
give you a
answers. I've
gist.
actually heard. Yeah, I've
I
heard
like to give
impressive
you a gist
answers.
about the business as well, so that I can now ask you questions and you can give me answers relating to what I've told you.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. All right, and we have this one. It's on domestic recruitment. I know Repos we started off with domestic recruitment before we now. Okay, so can you share strategies for managing difficult domestic recruitment clients?
Oh my god. Recruitment
Start it again.
is like a bit of
Strategies for managing what? Sorry.
domestic recruitment
Difficult
client.
domestic recruitment clients.
Clients. Wow,
Yeah.
clients.
Domestic recruitment has always been like a thorn in our flesh, quote and unquote,
Mm-hmm.
because those that knew us from that era have refused to transition
So
with us. So
we refuse to level up.
they have that in their mind. That, oh, which we don't advertise it, right? We don't advertise it as a service, so it comes to us. That means it's a referral game now. Now, most of people that come, we know someone that knows them, but that does not mean that we've not gotten like some clients that were very, very much crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why I say they're crazy is because, first of all, we've heard that the way they treat this set of people, domestic, should I say domestic employees, they
Okay.
don't see it as a long-term career. It's not a long, it shouldn't even be a long-term career for
Mm-hmm.
anybody. It should be like a stopgap, which is okay. So if you if you as a client come in and you're expecting somebody to stay in your house, some people say that they want the domestic staff to sign that they will stay there for 2 years. Like I feel like that expectation is too much from these sets of people.
Mm.
So how do we handle those difficult clients? I think I wish Juliet was on this call.
For me, I would say clear
I'll say yeah,
communication and
communicating
expectation.
SLE. We use
Yeah,
SLE now. We
yeah,
use SLE.
very, very spelled. Like spell it out.
The
And manage
SLE is important.
expectation. So that's it for me. Manage expectation on all sides. So, what's the expectation for the person that we're giving you as a domestic staff?
Mm.
What is the expectation, from us to you as the company providing this person? And what is your expectation from you, the client, to us, for this engagement to,
Yeah.
contribute to
So
exist?
ridiculous expectations will always come up, but yeah, it's there for you
No,
to
that's
yeah,
yeah, that's what the SLA is. Spell where you need to say where does
your
our role start and
limitations.
where
Yeah.
does it end.
Okay.
What are your obligations as the client to us? What are our obligations to you? And it needs to be clearly stated out that this document has the scope of this engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Anything outside of this needs to be expressly communicated and agreed upon by parties. It's
Yeah,
simple.
but
I know it's
what,
domestic and people
well,
don't like to hear plenty
let me add
English.
something to that. Is
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of them, because they know us from that time, so it's like a C finish. Sometimes you send an SLA and they don't read it. So you can send an SLA, but if someone says they didn't read it and they want to start expecting things, so you also in the communication from the beginning, like Juliet has Juliet has been in that role for a while. I wish I wish I can tap into her brain for a minute, but sometimes she had to be really, really, really strict with some clients. Yes, she has
Yeah.
to be really strict because they want the SLA sometimes, and so she just has to like insist, like, oh, and sometimes these girls get to the client's house and they do the things that you never saw coming. So it's not as if the client is also sometimes it's not that the client is difficult, it's that the situation is difficult
The
between
situation. Yeah.
the employee and the employer, just a difficult situation. And God has been saving us so far. I will not lie. God has also saved us from very difficult situations, and He has even preserved us from not even getting into some situations in the first place. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
thank God for that.
Mm.
Yeah, but that SLA is a lot of things still border on expectations and
Exactly.
communication.
Yeah.
So the SLA too
Enforcing your SLA. Yeah.
has saved
Enforcing
us
that
from
SLA.
dicey situations. If it's WhatsApp, yeah, if you send a message, the SLA to a client on WhatsApp, once you
Mm.
see the double tick and they responded after it, you can take a screenshot to show that. I'm
You are
sorry.
saying that they
Me,
break
I'm
it.
always about yes, I'm always about evidence that you have seen my
Mm,
message because the go to everybody's go to is I've not read it. That once I have
mm.
sent it, the responsibility of reading it is now on you.
It's on you.
My
Yeah.
own part is to send and ensure that it was delivered. And how do you ensure that it was delivered? If you can see the next message after that, it means you were online.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if it was via email, if you responded after that email I sent to you, you must have gotten the first thing I said, right? So whether you want to, that employees will say they never read their letter. That one's your concern. Oh. I gave you letter, you will resume. I think you saw your resumption day. Your resumption day was in that letter, but somehow you did not see your leave date. You did not see that there's conflict of interest. You did not see the other things in it, but you only saw the one that concerned you. Hallelujah. That one's for you. Don't try to say that you did not see it because as far as there was an action, then you even collected salary again. How do you know what your salary was if you did not read your offer letter?
Mm,
Somehow there's always going to be a way to catch,
yeah.
these people. So
Maybe
just
you pay
ensure
them
that you're
salary short of the money that is in their letter to be
And
to
then
ensure
they'll
that
be
they do.
like,
I saw the exactly.
I'll
Then you
say
now
just check
also
in that you read
direct
your
the
letter.
description that the one that they will tell you that I didn't see it as part of my job description. Okay, all the
Mm.
man. Let's go back now. Now that we are all here, let's visit everything in the letter.
Oh
That's how
goodness.
you have to deal with the clients too. Just take that screenshot. Record keeping too is very important
Mm.
in dealing with difficult clients because most of the time, if it's not the client by themselves being difficult, they are being difficult as a result of something that has to do with maybe the domestic stuff that you get. And many times it borders on how to find them,
Yeah.
who the guarantors are. Maybe they didn't
Also,
find them. So you need to keep record. Keep record of
Mm.
also
who started,
the
how much, who was giving, details of who you gave, and all of that.
um,
Yeah.
also the way some of the way the our system is going or Nigeria is going, some of these people also need a bit of training. Some of these domestic staff, like when they find themselves in difficult situations, they should know how to speak for themselves. Also, the
Mhm.
expectation that some people have of people that are not educated in that sense is too much. I'm not making excuses for mediocrity, but to be honest, you have to call, like, if that person was wiser than you, person will not be a domestic staff. Person will be Elon Musk or do whatever they want to do. They won't be living in your house and working for you. So some people will even make the statement of, "Oh, I don't want to train anybody," but it's your home. Like, whose home is it?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to train somebody now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
Everybody
a
has
lot of
how they want their business.
sanitization, exactly, a lot of training on both sides, and it's like this one's even beyond SLA. Like, we need to train ourselves to not like over expect something from a person that is not really educated, right? Patience, being patient, being a quote and unquote a coach to that person. Like, you have to coach that person the way you like your things done, not not
Yeah.
onboarding the person properly. Like, do you know that you onboard a domestic staff?
Domestic stuff.
So
Yeah.
you have to onboard them now. Same way we onboard people in the office, you have to onboard them. They can't just enter your house and know what to do and what to feed your baby and which thing to. Yeah, it's difficult, like having those conversations with some clients, but I think at some point we have to educate each other.
Mm.
Mhm.
All right. And finally, this is I think it's getting a bit personal here. This one is a bit personal, I would say. How do you get and manage HR clients? This is based on your journey so far.
How do we get HR clients? We don't we've not been able to successfully keep a sales team.
Mm.
So it's been on and off for sales team. I'm the sales director right now. So a lot of there was even one time we had a sales team that told me that it does not have the kind of network I have. Imagine you hiring a sales team that telling you that it does not have the network you have. So that means you should do your work by yourself. So yeah, we've not I've used my personal network a lot.
Okay.
My integrity is always on the line. That's what I always shout on the team because a lot of these clients, most times, they know me personally and they trust me and they decide to come and do work. Some of them give us good reviews, and I'm very grateful to the team for that because when you put your integrity on the line to make sure that your clients are satisfied, it becomes an integrity issue when they are not satisfied. They start to some become a personal attack on you. Like, some will make sure that they they drag you if they are not satisfied. Thank God,
You drag it.
thank God we've not had any of those dragging. That means we are doing something right, right? And I commend the team. And that there's still much more that we can do better, right? And as your own official and your official is it unofficial official director of sales, I'd say, yeah, there's still lots we can do better because sales people buy emotionally, so they want to
Mhm.
know you to an extent before they transact with you. And then and yeah, most of our clients have fallen into that category of either knowing me. However, we've gotten clients from Instagram, gotten clients from LinkedIn. I've gotten clients from LinkedIn, no, mostly Instagram. Mostly
Wow.
Instagram. Mostly Instagram. So we had it's a let me say for to say percentage of our clients. I would say 40% thereabout have come from Instagram or calling us from Google, Google and Instagram. I don't LinkedIn are not giving us any clients. I don't think so. And LinkedIn has given us good candidates, but not clients. And then
Okay.
the personal network, my personal network, or Joa's personal network as well. Yeah, let me not take all the credits. And some people on the team have referred people.
Mm.
Some of our team members have brought in clients from their own network as well. So yes, I appreciate those ones as well. So it's been a teamwork. It's been a lot of teamwork and a lot of trust that has gone into client acquisition.
Okay.
How do we manage them though?
How do
Yes,
we manage them?
many.
Satisfy them, no need. I already touched on that.
With
Satisfying
two
them.
team members, we manage them through skilled, professional HR business partner.
Yes, my dear, you are right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. That will be all from my end today. Thank you for
Wow.
your
This
answers.
this is for 99 questions.
Was it
Thank
99? No,
you.
no.
I'm
Thank you,
joking.
Celestina, for doing this with us. I think we
You're
had a good
welcome.
time. We had a
Yeah.
good time as well, just talking and speaking about stuff. And you're a good moderator. So add that to your CV. Moderator.
I'll do that. Thank
Yes,
you.
you did. Good questions. Good question. I'm so happy you did not give us any questions to set us up.
No, I told you from
The
the start that
questions
it
were for other people
wasn't
to learn
person.
as well.
But the learning will be a lot from this video. I'm sure this learning will
Hmm.
be a lot.
Yeah, both to employers and employees.
Thank you,
Yes. It was
Tina.
nice.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
If you see this
Thank you.
episode, or when you see this episode, feel free to
Thank you
go
for
and watch
watching.
1 to 4 and share with your friends. Share this with your friends. Please engage with videos from this episode and follow us on our social media platforms.
Thank you
Thank
so
Bye.
much.
you.
Bye.